Prime Minister Narendra Modi will begin a Five Nations tour from July 2nd till July 9. And the Prime Minister will be attending the 17th BRICS Summit in Brazil, followed by a state visit there. At a special briefing by the Ministry of External Affairs, the Secretary Economic Relations Dammu Ravi, he highlighted that India will be holding the chair of BRICS next year.
The 17th BRICS Summit is taking place on 6th and 7th. Honorable Prime Minister will arrive on the 5th evening, but the main program is on the 6th. The Brazil's agenda, more or less, is encapsulating the ideas of the Global South. And these are more or less in alignment with India's positions. And lastly, India will be holding the chair of the BRICS next year, and which is why, in this context, Honorable Prime Minister's visit is even more important for us.
Addressing the press conference, the Secretary East P. Kumaran said that several bilateral agreements would be signed between India and Brazil, including in renewable energy, agricultural research and security cooperation during the Prime Minister's visit.
On the trade front, India's trade with Brazil is the largest compared to any other country in Latin America. It had reached 16.6 billion in 2022-23, and following the drop in oil and gas prices, it is now around 12.2 billion, with India enjoying a trade surplus as we export goods worth $6.7 billion to Brazil and import goods worth $5.4 billion. Both leaders have set a bilateral trade target of 20 billion during their last meeting in November 2024. During their forthcoming meeting in Brasilia, the two leaders are expected to discuss ways to strengthen and diversify bilateral trade, including through expansion of the India-Mercosur PTA, as Brazil will be holding the chairship of Mercosur from 1st July 2025.
Prime Minister Modi will undertake a visit to Ghana from July 2nd to 3rd. This will mark a prime ministerial visit from India to Ghana after 3 decades.
Honorable Prime Minister will be visiting Ghana on 2nd and 3rd July. This visit is happening after 30 years. There will be delegation-level talks during which the bilateral relations will be reviewed and also discuss various ways to strengthen and deepen bilateral relations. Honorable Prime Minister will have a one-on-one meeting with his counterpart. Then there will be a banquet dinner in honor of Honorable Prime Minister. The next day, Prime Minister will be addressing the Parliament, and he also will be interacting with the Indian community there.
The Prime Minister will also pay an official visit to Trinidad and Tobago from July 3rd to 4th. The visit is the first bilateral visit at the prime ministerial level to Trinidad and Tobago since 1999.
This marks the first visit by Prime Minister Modi to TNT or Trinidad and Tobago as Prime Minister, and is the first bilateral visit by an Indian Prime Minister to TNT since 1999. The visit comes at an opportune time as this year in 2025, the country is commemorating 180 years of the arrival of Indian immigrants to Trinidad and Tobago. This shared history forms the bedrock of our close and enduring people-to-people ties.
In the third leg of his visit, the Prime Minister will visit Argentina from July 4th to 5th at the invitation of President Javier Milei. This will be the first bilateral visit by an Indian Prime Minister in 57 years.
Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is visiting Argentina on 4th and 5th July on an official visit. PM has travelled earlier to Argentina for a G20 meeting in 2018, but this will be the first bilateral visit by an Indian PM in the last 57 years. Argentina holds the world's second largest shale gas reserves and the fourth largest shale oil reserves, along with, of course, substantial conventional oil and gas deposits, making it a potentially important energy partner for India in the future.